Right, he's done the Leagues Cup, he's done the Open Cup. It was his MLS debut. It came from the bench, though, as Inter Miami were taking on New York Red Bulls. 2 minutes into this one. Well, it's a picture there. There they are. They're on the bench. Good, right. OK, 7 minutes to go in the first half. Diego Gomez makes it 1-0.
Yeah, nice goal on the turn. Decent first touch. An even better one with his left peg into the bottom corner.
But then this was the moment the crowd were waiting for. Lionel Messi coming off the bench, and then he'd do Messi things. What about this for a goal?
I mean, I don't think anybody else in the world sees that pass. Because when you look from behind him, all you see is 5 opposition jerseys. But he puts it with the perfect spot, with the perfect weight on the pass. I mean, the fullback has absolutely no idea why that ball's been played in behind him. And of course...
How cool was this? This was in Times Square, which was hosting a watch party, and thousands of fans packing out Times Square to watch Lionel Messi score, and Inter Miami get the win by 2-0. It's ridiculous. Look at this. So before Messi, they'd won 1 in 9. They've won 6 out of 9 now with Messi, and the other 3 they won on the penalty shootout. It's not bad at all, is it? Nedum Onuoha joins us. Nedum, I was thinking watching this, if you're a Red Bull player and everyone in the crowd is supporting Lionel Messi, how does that feel for a home game?
Listen, it can feel however he wants to feel, but it's still 11 versus 11. And to be honest, I think a few of those Red Bull players, they look like some of the people in the crowd. Because as soon as he played that ball to, I think it was Campani, the right winger, like everyone fell asleep. I've never seen so many people completely fall asleep within a moment of a game. Like, how's he having a tap-in when previously had 5 people around him? But, you know, it's going to be tough because the crowd will be there to see him and so on. But there's still a game to be had. And, you know, of all the stats you put up there, the one that I love the most is the fact that they've conceded fewer goals. Now Messi's there. Because I always had Messi down as a defensive stalwart. You know, he's doing it all, isn't he? What a great guy. But yeah, he's
you talked about this as well, obviously with the shirt signing and everything that was going this week. This way that Messi kind of intimidates players because he's Lionel Messi. How do you deal with that as a veteran within the dressing room to try and, you know, sort these kids out and say, look, don't be hypnotised by him?
To be honest, I think some of the veterans within MLS, they've also not played against Messi. I think most people that have, they kind of know how good he is. But you can say, OK, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to try and stop him. But, you know, as we saw with that pass that led to his own goal, he sees things that other people don't see. But as is the case with football, you just have to be competitive. Like, it's you versus somebody else. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in the history of the game. I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. You just allow him to have all the space to do whatever he wants. Like, it just seems ridiculous. And I guess within a game, if you see some people start turning that way, it's a little reminder, come on, come on, come on, come on. Maybe Messi will have his way, but don't allow him to have his way in the easiest way possible. He is one of the greatest of all time. The fact he's playing in MLS, which is a league that doesn't necessarily have some of the other greatest players that we've seen across the recent generations in there, it's a tough matchup, but do the best that you can. Make sure that when the game's over, he knows that you've given it your all, and you know yourself you've done the same. And then maybe you could limit him, but the chances are, as has been the case with probably thousands of players to this point, you know, he ends up having his way.
Is that harsh?
Teams are going to have to hope that Miami start defending the way they did for the first part of the season, because they're not going to be able to deal with Messi.
Right.
If there's anybody who ever knew where there was some space, or if there was anybody who could create the space for himself, it's him. And there's not a defender in MLS, and there's not many defenders around the world that can actually deal with Messi, which is why Messi for so long has been putting the numbers up. So the only hope the other teams have is that defensively they cave in and start defending the way they did previously. Because going forward, when Messi's on the field, into Miami, you're always going to score a goal.
The question is now, can Inter Miami qualify for the playoffs? It would be a ridiculous question just a month ago, but how things have changed, of course, with Messi being there. There's confirmation. Let me just squint. There you are. Right, so it's 11 points to get up to Chicago Fire. They've both played the same amount of games. There's quite a few teams, of course, to get past before that. Nedum, I suppose simple. Can they do it?
Wow. Do you know what? Because it's the play-in, there is a chance, and because it's Messi, there is a chance. Because the teams that are sitting in 8th and 9th, it's not like they're winning every single week anyway. So I think there's a good chance they'll make the play-in. But I think given how bad the start of the season was for them, I ultimately think they'll come up short, but it won't be for the want of trying. And I think it's going to draw a lot of eyeballs because I think they will get close overall. But the last thing you want anyway is them to get into the play-in, because before you know it, that Messi roadshow goes everywhere. The fact that every away game will feel like a home game to him, that could be special. But unfortunately, I think they come up just a little bit short.
So what percentage are we giving Nedum?
I would say chances of making the play-in, I'm going to say 33%.
33%, very exact.
Aye.
Yeah, you agree?
100%.
100% agree with the 33%.
Correct.
The 66%.
Sorry, and a third.
33% at the third, yeah?
33%.
Yeah.
So then we go 66.6%.
Correct.
There we are for the other.
100%.
Okay, good to know. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.